So here's how they get into your car.
In another video caught on CCTV, police set up a bait car. For those who don't know, a bait car is basically a car with a GPS tracker and a hidden camera set up by the police to catch potential car thieves. The doors of the car are unlocked, the keys are left in the ignition, and then the police just wait for someone to come along and try to steal the car.
Oh, I did. Oh, you got Dude, my lights are not on.
Oh, how the you open the trunk? What are the speakers in the back? It doesn't turn it up.
Without knowing, the two young thieves are filmed and tracked by police officers. And are soon arrested. However, when the footage was uploaded to YouTube, shocked viewers were quick to point out that the two young men might not have been the only ones inside that vehicle.
And you just push on it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just got the PSP7 Spirit Box on. Oh, another PSP7 Spirit Box session,
But they're also networked to the outside world. Effectively, your car is on the internet.
The CAN network, or CAN bus, is a network within the car that allows all the pieces to communicate. Everything can read and write to the CAN bus and pretty much is always listening for commands.
Listen who's coming through. Watch, I'm not gonna ask any questions. Just listen. Can you guess who that ghost is? Just listen very carefully. Just have the Spirit Box on.
Each car has a different language, each piece speaks different words, and not all those pieces have been mapped publicly. Cars have the same kind of chips that computers and cell phones have.
Paranormal, through a simple code, silences the PSP7. That was the whole point of the portal.
That said, there is not a terrible threat right now, in part because the cost is high. As the pieces of hardware required to experiment become more readily available, as there's more literature explaining how it works, as the cost goes down, then people can be more innovative in how they might take advantage of it.
To silence the PSP7, right? When he failed at that, because the portal just plays voices backwards. This is legit. Radios, frequencies, AM, FM, SW, MV, you name it. You name the frequency. Ghosts can talk to it.
Device, you just have to put these two wires in the CAN bus network. That's it. It costs $25. You can buy the components any place. Right now, the size of the CHT is like an iPhone, more or less, but it can be smaller. Car hacking is a very interesting field. People don't think about security. You can connect from your house with your computer to your car.
Ghosts. How did they do it? There's an invisible frequency. We do this. See? There's an invisible frequency. Let me show you. Those of you that don't know science.
Only ones inside that vehicle.
Oh, no, it's not a cop. Oh, I thought I thought. Oh, What? Oh, I think it is a cop. I heard that go. Yeah, fool, that's why I said, what the My boots are the one that were making me up. My boots are hella all big.
Hands up!
Stay there! Stay there! Stay there! Don't move!
Sir, I live on the block. Now, get down, get down. Stand on your head. Stand on your head.
Viewers believe the pale figure of a woman can be seen sitting in the back seat. Now, it should be noted that the two teenagers were alone, and the footage is 100% real police evidence.
Let's see if I can do this.
That's really scary.
Viewers believe the pale figure of a woman can be seen sitting in the back seat. Now, it should be noted that the two teenagers were alone, and the footage is 100% real police evidence.
That's really scary. You can just walk by and just implant the device. So imagine that I just go and approach to a car, I connect the CHT, and I just go to my home. I can control the car. It's very easy. Once you connect it, you can just remotely use it to manipulate anything. You can just notice that your car is going to the right and you are not turning the wheel.
Down a neighborhood street when they suddenly saw two small children right in front of their car. They swerved to miss them and they actually crashed right into a house. But here's the thing, there were no children in the road. The entire incident was captured on CCTV. Take a look. Two strange anomalies appear out of thin air, stepping right into the road, and then they disappear just as quickly. The two security guards claim that they could see two children and that in a panic, they lost control of their patrol vehicle. What makes this footage even stranger is that later, the guards found out that two children had met a tragic fate in a car accident right on this very same spot.
You can activate the handbrake. When you do this thing, you are just sending some kind of packet to a network saying, hey, wheels, stop. If you turn on the lights, there is a packet that's gonna say all the time, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on. Imagine that you are just driving at night. If we are able to drop the on packet and just insert our own packet saying turn off, turn off, turn off, the thing is that the lights of the car are gonna just turn off or turn on whenever we want.
All of these parts can be bought online for relatively cheap. You use these to plug into portions of the ECU. You can communicate directly with the ECU or with the mobile chipset and tell it to run commands that you want. Tell it to increase the amount of fuel that it's getting. You can tell it to go faster, release the trunk, hit the brakes.
There is not a motivation, aside from simple theft, that would necessitate developing the skills, which are not insignificant, required to do this. Then there's a surveillance aspect. We showed how we could remotely track the car and listen.
How did they do it? There's an invisible frequency. We do this. See? There's an invisible frequency. Let me show you. For those of you that don't know science, let's see if I can do this.
Listen to what was being said. That said, there is not a terrible threat right now, in part because the cost is high. As the pieces of hardware required to experiment become more readily available, as there's more literature explaining how it works, as the cost goes down, then people can be more innovative in how they might take advantage of it.
Of the engine. Nothing's ever fully secure. If someone's dedicated enough, it'll always be a cat and mouse game.
We have to secure that entire ecosystem. It used to be you lock the doors on your car and your valuables in your car were secure. Today, when you lock the doors on your car, your personal information is actually stored out in other cloud services. All of a sudden, that has a physical impact on our lives.
Many of the standard things we would do on a PC to make the software secure, none of that was being done, zero. And so the kinds of bugs that we would find really, like, it almost felt like software archaeology. It's like this was the kind of bug I would find in a PC back in 1993 when the internet had first taken off. From a Darwinian standpoint, they had never had to face adversaries, and so the code never had to be hardened against that. Now is the right time to identify if there are problems before there are people targeting them.
We're in Glendale, California, where we're about to sit behind the wheel as Matt Solnick, security expert, car buff, and hacking wizard, hacks the car remotely.
How did they do it? There's an invisible frequency. We do this. See? There's an invisible frequency. Let me show you. Those of you that don't know science, let's see if I can do this.
How's it going?
Made it.
Today is actually the first day I've had a chance to test.
So you're testing it on us.
This is my first time actually testing live with the person on the car. In this case, I am controlling the CAN bus remotely over the cellular networks. The only thing coming off my laptop is my GSM modem. We had to move the telematics unit from a newer setup to this.
How did they do it? There's an invisible frequency. We do this. See? There's an invisible frequency. Let me show you. Those of you that don't know science, let's see if I can do this.
Because these don't come with it stock. That enables me to be able to control it remotely. What I'm going to do in the next little bit.
Science. Let's see if I can do this.
Is actually remotely stop the engine of the vehicle.
Okay. Oh, all right. Engine's dead. I can't move. I'm stuck. All right. Bad time to go uphill.
I'm gonna run through a few of the different controls of the car.
So it's locked now.
So I'm gonna send the unlock command. Sending sequence, sent. Give it a second to send over the network.
Not bad.
Let's see what else we can do.
Normal, you know, through a simple code. Silences the PSP7. That was the whole point of the portal. See? There's an invisible frequency. Let me show you.
A loud bang can be heard as something falls hard to the floor. When Leviathan looks up, the terrifying face of a pale creature with glowing eyes can be seen looking right back at him.
Those of you that don't know science, let's see if I can do this. Let's just listen. Let's listen what they want to say. So as loud as it goes, yep. Oh, thank you, gravity. Frequency. Let me show you. Those of you that don't know science, let's see if I can do this.